Me too. That was a struggle. Oh,
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Art of Learning Self-Love. This is Darla Williams, and I am ready to begin talking today about what does the Lord do for the brokenhearted. So I want to start literally in a scripture where I'm going to share for just a moment of what the scriptures talk about in regards to that and what the Lord does. Basically, our position within that spirit within that we have, that we are able to connect with because we are one with the Lord. So it says in Psalms 147, praise the Lord. How good is it to sing praises to our God? How pleasant and fitting to please him. The Lord builds up Jerusalem and gathers the exile of Israel. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. Great is our Lord and mighty in power, for understanding has no limit. The Lord sustains the humble and casts the wicked to the ground. Sing to the Lord with thanksgiving. Make music to our God on the harp. He covers the sky with clouds. He supplies the earth with rain and makes grass grow on the hills. He provides food for the cattle and the young ravens when they call. His pleasure is not in the strength of the horse, nor in delight in the legs of man. The Lord delights in those who fear him, who puts their hope in his unfailing love. Exalt the Lord, O Jerusalem. Praise your God, O Zion, for he strengthens the bar of your gates and blesses the people within you. He grants peace to your borders and satisfies you with the finest of wheat. He sends his command to the earth. His word runs swiftly. He speaks the snow like wool and scatters the frost like ashes. He hurls down his hail like pebbles. Who can withstand the icy blast? He sends his word and melts them and stirs up the breezes, and the waters flow. He has revealed his word to Jacob, his laws and decrees to Israel. He has done this for no other nation. They do not know his laws. Praise the Lord. So the reason I'm reading that is because it really dictates out and decrees what is done for us who have been brokenhearted. And how many times, have we been in that space of brokenness when we endure the experience of life and the situations around us that was unexpected? It literally can leave us in the ruins. And while we're sitting there trying to pick up the pieces, what is actually written is that those pieces are truly bound up and healed. So when we're out of alignment, we don't know that. And we're literally walking a path of life in a space where our mind is just repeating the echoing of the circumstance. So we have a vibrational story that's going on within our mind that doesn't seem to stop. So what does the Lord or our Christ consciousness do for the brokenhearted? Does anybody know? Would anybody like to take a chance at answering that?
he heals the brokenhearted.
Comfort.
Oh,
Comfort, and Ashley, you said heals the brokenhearted.
see.
I would say loves them just the same.
Ooh. Why is my head? Hi, Joe. You have a background. That is so cool. Sorry.
It's okay. So how do you see that the Lord is doing these things in your life? Ashley, I'm going to call on you because your mic's already unmuted, and I know you are eager to speak because you have such a story.
Yes.
So I just want you to take a moment and actually think about it for a minute. How has the Lord reached into your life and mended or bound up your broken hearted?
Well, I can't say too much on the relationship part, but I could tell you that when I hit my knees when I was homeless at a shelter, I think that was the most broken time of my life, and I was shaking and crying out to God. And I literally was telling God I wanted to be done with life. And he like brought in so many blessings after that. Like it bam, 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 bam. Like each day there was news that was good news. And I think that's all God really wants us to do is just come to him when we're like at that point in our life. He loves that. He wants to heal us. He wants to bless us.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Dar.
Hey, Maud, in your life, where do you find that you have come into a space of mended wounds? I'm so glad to see you. I know you're not feeling well. Thank you for showing up.
Well, I think you know how this is the God concept that's kind of new to me. So I think the biggest blessing was for him to put you on my life path, because I probably would have been dead without you at some point this year. And I appreciate you very much for that.
Much love.
I agree.
Thank you.
You guys are my heart. This is where I've been. I've been in that broken space. I know what it feels like to literally lay in the middle of the floor, completely devastated and unable to see anything else and just hoping to completely be done. I've had my times of overdosing and not wanting to be here anymore. I've had my experiences of how do I just completely exit stage left and not come back. And in that space, I know that my responsibility is to go back and find those and help to shine a light upon the path and assist you in your journey as you guys come out of those spaces. And it's a privilege and an honor that you all trust me enough to do so. It is absolutely amazing to watch your transformations and see how you guys have gone from utter despair to hope.
Darla, I used to sit in my bed and cry every day. And it's like, God gives me confirmation by watching you and Joe that there really is hope in a relationship, because I am so fed up with men. I'm not playing.
You've been through a lot. You definitely have a jaded space right now because of what you've been through. And I used to be
but
there.
you're like confirmation, you know, as much as you've watched our journey, we've been watching yours too. And it's like, God is just so amazing like that. Like he allows us all to grow off of each other through him. And it's just awesome. I love it.
So, Dr.
Don't
Kim,
get emotional on me now, Dar.
you know me too well. You've known me too long. Dr. Kim, would you like to speak into this space?
Don't do all that. Why is that tied to my rhythm?
Hey, Ash, go ahead and mute your mic for me, love.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
So I've been recently guided to bless every choice I have ever made, including every choice from the time I was a little girl and could choose for myself all the way up until the present moment. And that includes choices that I look back and say, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. Or, oh my gosh, I wish I didn't get into that relationship. Or, oh my gosh, what a jerk I was. You know, all of those choices. And I've been re-listening to a mastermind that I led, that I took us through a guided meditation, not knowing that was what I was doing. It was just kind of coming to me as I was doing it. And it's been so comforting to say that every choice I made can be blessed for good to still come of it, not just for good to come of it in that moment, at that time, you know, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, when I was this, when I was that, but that good can still come of those choices now. So it's put me on a whole different perspective with my past and has me regret nothing. And I've so longed to regret nothing. And it's taken quite a while, but I'm getting to that place, and it is joyous. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. You know, I was just telling Joe last night from my own personal experiences, looking back and seeing all the things, and I was like, oh, my failed everything. They weren't failures. They were just guiding posts to put me on the path to where I was supposed to go. And realizing how incredible it is that, yeah, we may have messed it up and we could have done it royally. I mean, to the point where it was utter disaster. But it was a lesson. It was an experience. It was a turning point. It was, it could have been the dark point to put me on the path to the light, to who I was going to resonate and beam out to become for others. It was the experience that allowed me the wisdom to know how to speak to each and every person that comes along my path. You know, we can only help those who we have experienced something similar to. So that is why everybody has specific people that go to them, and why it's important for us to share our stories. Because if we don't, how can anyone else know that they're not alone? So,
I was just saying that last night, not to cut you off. And I was talking to Simone. You remember her?
mhm,
Well, I don't want to put all her business out there, but
don't
she's
put our
going through a
business
very,
out at all.
I'm not,
Just say,
I'm not, I'm not. But she's going through a really rough time. And I remember being in the same situation. And I never thought that the situation she's in, that I thought would ever happen to me. Like, I never imagined that. And I told her, I kept yelling at God. I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, I do not deserve this. And I was very, just down on myself. Like, there must be something wrong with me. Like, I'm not meant for, whatever. And I just told her, I said, God did that because he wants us to be able to tell each other that, you know, you can't walk through life and help others like I want to, like you want to, if you can't relate. If you can't relate to somebody's broken heart and pain and suffering. Like, I remember going to church all the time, and I used to look at, friends and family like, you use drugs and you don't take care of your kids like the next person, but God takes us through things in life so that we can see things through other people's eyes, because we are not to judge each other. You know what I mean? And that's why God took me through a lot of very, very challenging times in my life, because he wanted me to be able to stand up and help her
mhm.
yesterday. And I felt that through my whole body. And I did. And she was crying. She was not okay yesterday. But I'll talk to you more about that when we're out of this session. But it was amazing that you just confirmed everything.
That's where we all work in the spirit. Go ahead and grab your mic. Joe, I want to open the floor though for you as well. Where do you see that Christ consciousness has mended and healed your brokenness?
Well, like many people have shared on this call today, I too had my moment screaming out, praying to God, kill me, end me. Why are you making me suffer? I probably spent 8 years of the 12 years on disability just begging, pleading, just end it. Why are you making me suffer? And it took a while to really start seeing that the things I had gone through were not curses, were not hatred, were not fun and games for the higher ups, but they were lessons. I was meant to learn. I was meant to grow. I was meant to not take things so personal, but to look at what's going on and see how it related to my life and grow from it instead of feel beat and battered and bruised. And I've often talked, like I've not read the whole Bible, but I've often talked about how the book of Job is my life, where it was like the God and devil just stood up there and just like do whatever to him. God says to the devil, beat him, take everything from him, send, plagues and take away his children and like all of that. And I'm thankful that didn't happen, but just all of that pain and suffering is what I truly related to. And that's why I felt so close with that part of the Bible, because what I've read of the Bible, nothing related except for all of that pain and suffering. And that was my life for so many years, is I was just so consumed in that pain that I often talk about how I was living in a pit of despair. No matter how many times I created a way to start getting out, I was always beat back down, like I was not allowed to leave. And I had struggled for so long that I literally just sat down and gave up. And Darla knows I showed her the corner of the ceiling that I sat and stared at for years, just wondering and debating, am I just going to be a lump on the couch, or am I actually going to find a way around this? And well, the busy bee attitude and mindset that I've always had, because I can't sit still. I determined that being a lump on the couch just isn't for me. I can't stand watching TV. News drives me nuts. Just I needed something different. And that's, when I started making changes, I didn't have names for it. I didn't have a clue that it was a spiritual awakening. I didn't have an idea that I was on a certain path. I just knew that I didn't want to be there. So I was going somewhere else. And that's all I kept focusing on, was just one small step at a time. And over time, I turned those negative thoughts slowly but surely into positives. And I realized that those things were actually lessons. And I kept growing and I kept growing. And, eventually I found a reason to smile without telling myself, smile, you're taking getting your picture taken, or smile, you're with family. No, I'm just smiling because it's a day that ends with Y. And that alone was one of the most amazing moments of my life at that time, was to just smile, just because there was no rhyme, there was no reason. I wasn't being forced to, I wasn't being told to, I was just smiling because I could. And as I kept growing, I just kept realizing that after doing the shadow work, and it's still not done, I don't think it's ever done, but doing the shadow work and realizing all of these things, it started realizing that I'm more in sync with God, or source, or universe, or however you want to refer to the higher powers in our world. I started realizing more and more that I can live my best life just by wanting to, by telling myself that I can, by telling myself it's okay to. I no longer had to hear what other people were saying and believe it, or hold it, or take it with me. One saying that I do enjoy, I'll keep it the PG version, is opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has one. There's another R-rated version, which is just as fun. But either way, once I realized that I didn't have to take other people's opinions, I didn't have to hear them, hold them, listen to them, take them within, that's when I really started finding the person I wanted to be. I didn't have to be what I was being told I was, or what other people opinions were of me. I could be whatever I wanted to be. And if I was, just wanted to be in a happy-go-lucky mood that day, I could be, because I just had to tell myself it. And granted, when you're in that lower vibration state, it's difficult to do so, because you yourself don't believe you can. But after doing that shadow work and fighting those demons and making it through, with these knowledges, I've learned that I can be whatever I want to be on any given day. If I want to be emotional over a situation, I can be, but I don't have to be it all day. I can have that breakdown. I could shed those tears, and then I can turn around and say, okay, I felt it. It's enough. I want to be happy now. And then I can just turn that frown upside down. So cliche. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I still have much to work on. And I know it's getting more and more difficult to find the things, and that's why I wait and look for those triggered emotions or those things that just kind of feel off or feel wrong. But I don't react like I used to. And I mean, that's an amazing thing in itself, is to just not have that triggered reaction, that anger, emotional, destructive response. It's great to just look at it and just smile and say, wow, that don't feel good. I need to take note of healing this later. Take a minute and heal it at that moment if you can, however, the situation fits. But to just know that I'm not the situation is an amazing thing. Thank you.
What I really enjoyed hearing in that is you finally realized you had a choice. You can choose to allow it to control you, or you can choose to control how it affects you. And you can actually process and integrate it now, where in times before you weren't able to. So
Do it very poorly.
we've all been there.
Mhm.
How do you see that mended space in your life now? Where do you see the transformation for you?
Really with accepting self. And for so long, I hated every aspect of me, my family life, my school, my this, my that, and everything about me. And I've often spoke many times on platforms within Noble Goldman that I've got around 32 years of dealing with depression and anxiety, and counselors and inpatient, outpatient therapies and all that crap, pain, or not pain, I was on pain meds, but this mental meds and all that. And none of it worked. But once I started healing myself and I found that love for myself, that's where I started noticing. That's where I started realizing, I've I come from a family where mom always made us go to church, whether you wanted to or not, you're going to church. And I kind of think that might be part of why I started working at the age of 13, because hey, I'm working, I can't go to church, I got to be on the job or whatever. And all those years of going to church, I never understood it. I never understood why that guy's talking on the stage. I didn't understand the messages he was bringing. None of it made sense. And after going through all of these years of just fighting the fight and battling the demons and just low vibration after low vibration, I started realizing that some of these messages were a lot more relevant than I had ever realized. And just knowing that whatever I go through, it is guided. Whether I handle that situation poorly or wonderfully, it's still guided. I'm still meant to go through it. And I can go through it with that smile on my face, or I could go through it with bitter anger and hatred. But where that mending is when you realize that you're just going through it. You're not living it. You're not staying there. And you're staying there if you choose to, but that's your choice. Again, there's that choice word for you, babe. So to go through these things and just take away the lesson instead of all of the heartache and lower vibrations is really, I think, for me, the mending, where I no longer have to hold on to those lower vibrations. I can handle them however I choose to. And I'm not saying I'm perfect all the time. There's times where I know that I could handle things better, but it's not like I was 10 years ago. I mean, 10 years ago, it was not a good time. It was not good decisions. It was worse than poor decisions, I'd say. But we all learn lessons and we all grow if we choose to.
Right. Thank you. You definitely had a lot to speak into this space today. Mending the broken heart is absolutely important. we can go through life and be crushed under the experience, or we can choose to rise up out of it. It's like the phoenix and the ashes, you know, when the phoenix ignites, it looks like it's the end of the story. Here's the fire, it's been fully consumed. It's laying in a heap of ashes. There's nothing left, but then it's reborn. And it can fly up and take on to the heights of whatever that it chooses. And it does it time and time again. And that is where we are in life every time we overcome and do the shadow work. When we can reach in and take care of ourselves and look at our circumstances and our situations and actually go through the work that's necessary to bring us back through so that we can transform and rearrange ourselves. But none of it ever happens alone. We're never on this journey alone. We're always led and guided to other points where there's someone that is shining the light upon the path where we can navigate to where we're going. So in Dr. Kim, I'm going to ask you, what did Source create in you for a purpose? What is your purpose, do you believe, that out of your experiences, what did it lead you to?
It seems that the mission of my life, the purpose of my life, is to love myself and love others so fully that they fall in love with themselves and then pass it on.
And that's what you teach.
That's exactly what I teach. And in some ways, it's the easiest purpose life could have ever given me, because in some ways, it's effortless to love, and in other ways, it's very hard work.
Mhm.
So it's this paradox of being willing to love myself no matter what, and to love others no matter what. And as I often say, I've discovered self-love is the secret sauce of life. You know, I've had a lot of success in my life, and all those successes were very hollow when I didn't love myself. They all left me with is that all there is? You mean I worked so hard to become a professor? Is that all there is? This emptiness is still inside of me.
Mm.
And yet now I find joy in the smallest thing. Doesn't even have to be a big success, because I have fallen in love with myself and now have the joy of leading, guiding, teaching others to fall in love with themselves also.
Awesome. That is such a privilege and an honor, isn't it?
It's the supreme honor. I can't think of anything, certainly nothing I'd rather be doing, that's for sure.
Exactly. Miss Maud, are you able to join us?
Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, what do you believe Source has called you to? What is your purpose? Out of your experience, if you think about your experience and what you've been through, what would your purpose be?
I'm still looking
Okay, that's a good place to be.
because I
developing.
really don't know.
Okay, that's all right. So in your process, the process is good. That's actually important that it is recognized and actually identified. You're still in your process. So sometimes when those questions come to us, we really don't know yet. And
I
it's
mean, I
okay.
know what I'm not supposed to say, but because I've done so many classes, you know, I know what I want my goal kind of to be, but I don't know that that's my purpose. I just want to make the world beautiful by splashing colors everywhere. So I don't know, I need a bright, colorful place to Because I feel you can't be sad with brightness all around.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you 100%. I'll tell you my story later in
Okay.
regards to the color pink. But
Interesting.
Ashley, in your opinion, for yourself, what do you think that you went through your experience for, and what is your purpose out of it? Ashley, you'll have to unmic yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So the question is, I'm going to make it simpler. What did your experience, what do you think that God created out of that for your purpose to become?
I don't get the question. Hold on one second.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump to you while she's tending to the kids. Hold on a second, Ash.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry. What was the question?
I know you're distracted. The kids are getting loud. It's okay. The question is, out of your experience in life, what do you believe that your purpose is that God is calling you to do?
Well, I think I have a lot of people that have watched me go through everything from childhood on up, like my best friend Simone. I think a lot of people are watching, from what I hear, a lot of people watch me like I give them strength. And there's times where like I just feel like 4 kids and being alone and everything that I've endured is just a lot. And it's just sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. But then I remember like I feel in my spirit that at the end of all this, I'm gonna be able to help others. You know, there's beautiful girls that I know that it seem like the strongest people in the world, but they look up to me. They're like, how did you do it? How did you get through that? Like sometimes just look at your profile just to see that there is hope. You know what I mean? So like raising these kids is a blessing. It's my greatest, blessing in life, even though it's very challenging. But there's gonna come a day where I'm gonna be able to be like, I did that. I raised my babies and I got a house, I got an education, I did everything that the devil told me I couldn't do. And that's going to inspire a lot of people that know me where I've come from. And that's what I feel like my purpose is.
There you go. That's beautiful. And you're
Thank
doing it. You're in your process of that. And you've been on a journey now for quite some time. And it's
Yeah.
getting better and better every day. The journey for you has been getting more exciting because you are actually able to come into a better space every day. Yes, Dr. Kim, we're going to have her come in. She's got her hand up. She's like, ready.
Ashley, I just want to say, I find you so inspiring. I've met you today for the first time and I'm listening really intently to you. And yeah, I hear this purpose called defy the odds, to be a role model of defying the odds.
Yeah.
And the odds against whatever you take on, and how beautiful and inspiring that is. So I just want to thank you for being here today and sharing your journey and just attending great blessings.
Thank you. I appreciate that with all my heart.
You got to come in more often.
Yeah, I do.
We'll
I
all
think
just surround you and love on you and just help you to rise up into your fullness of who you truly are, hon.
Yes, I'm ready. I am.
So I'm going to go ahead and Joe, on that question in regards to your experience and what is your purpose now?
Well, I was a lot like Maud, not that long ago, a couple months ago. I really was clueless on my purpose, really was clueless on why all of my attempts to end this failed. And recently I had gotten Reiki certified, and I did it because it was something that I enjoyed doing. But shortly after I became certified, it was like a slap to the face, like, hey, pay attention here. And I started doing group healings just out of the blue. Like someone's like hurting and they're like, well, hey, let's just do a healing. I'm like, all right, I can do that. And I started realizing, I can heal, I could do my Reiki healings in a group. And it wasn't that long ago, maybe a month or two, that I really started getting an insight to my purpose. And I don't even think it's my full purpose yet. I think I've just cracked the door open to my purpose. But what I'm really feeling is the healing. The hell that I have gone through, all the things that I've done, all the things that broke me mentally, emotionally, and physically are my lessons to go out and reach others, to help them find their way through, to help heal them from whatever ails them. And I feel that to my core, that that I am a healer. I know that. But what my whole purpose is, time will tell.
It's ever changing. It's always expanding. The further you go, the more you work on yourself, the more expansion that happens in your business.
Yep. The deeper you dig within, the more you will enlighten yourself on all that you are capable of doing, not only for yourself, but for others.
Exactly. So at this moment, what I want everyone to think about today is I want you to take for a moment and do an exercise for yourself that allows you to write out a dream that you have and make sure that it's a big one. Go into it, really think about it, write it out to its fullest. And then know that with Source, all things are possible. So whatever it is that's in your heart, it is truly possible, but you have to go ahead and surrender to the understanding that there are no limitations, that you are the only limit to who you are. And whatever you have allowed yourself to believe, and it's up to you to connect with those that you see that are capable of achieving their dreams, so that you can find out the solutions to your life and break down the walls within the mind that has been built up by others' opinions that have been spoken over you, or the thoughts that you have began to create because of judgment or criticism or pain or whatever the situation may be for you. And literally begin breaking those things down and allowing yourself to understand that through constant visualization, that anything that you set your heart to, you can achieve, as long as you do the actions that are necessary to achieve it. There's nothing you are unable to do. I want to make sure, I want to do a fountain healing today. If there's anything that you feel needs to be taken into the fountain, I want to go ahead, and I know that a lot of stories today are very, very personal and don't need to be broadcasted, but I want you to go ahead and think about those things yourself. You know how deep that they go and how intense they can be. Dr. Kim, I know you're driving, so I know that this may not be something you can do right now, but you can always go back and fast forward to replay later.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome, love. But I want you to think about what's going on and get yourself in a place where you can be comfortable seated. And go ahead, and when you can, close your eyes and let yourself down and allow yourself to bring up whatever vibrational story is going on that you need to release in the fountain today. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a moment right now and accept the fact that it is possible for you to receive healing. That any story that has held you back and limited you from moving into your fullest potential and your highest good, go ahead right now and drop down any defenses and begin to imagine yourself before the gates of this most gorgeous garden. It's green and lush, overgrown and beautiful. It's got every flower of your favorite type growing everywhere. But in the center of this garden, you have a fountain, this enormous fountain. And as you get to the fountain, I want you to go ahead and I want you to step up mentally into that. And again, step up and then into the cooling effects of the waters that are there. And I want you right now to go ahead and bring up any story in your mind that you know that you need to release forevermore, that you no longer want it to be affecting you. And I want you to imagine that waters that is cascading down from the top of the fountain, that it is a light cascading effect, that you can see the white light within. This is the healing light that is rightfully yours. And I want you to go ahead and step into that fountain and let it to come in through your crown chakra. Allow it to pour in and over that story. And I want it to gather up from all edges of your mind into the third eye, and so that you can see and illuminate anything that goes on with that story. And I want you to go ahead and circle it and bring it up and wrap it up into this light that is no longer there to be of use to you, but that you will know that you will remember everything. But you can let go of the parts that hurt, that are painful, that are keeping you bound up, that do not allow you to reach your highest good. So go ahead and release it now and let it go into the light. Bring that light down into the jaw and into the throat. Any vibrational story that you've had over the years in regards to that, allow it to pick it up. Allow that light to mend any of that space, so that you no longer speak these limited beliefs over yourself, down through the shoulders, down to the arms, into your fingertips, back up and into your heart center. Allow this light to cleanse away any of it and break away the calluses upon your heart. Let that be gathered up, and that any open wounds that you may see, go ahead and allow this light to heal and cleanse and restore and seal off any painful spaces down into the solar plex, into the sacral, and into the very root of your being. Allow this to cleanse and restore and repair anything that's going on in this story. Down your thighs, into your calves, and into your feet, and press the story as far away from you as possible. Down into Mother Gaia, as far, 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 far away. When you're ready, just bring back up the light into your feet, into your calves, into your thighs, into the root. Into the sacral. Into the solar plex. Into the heart. Into the throat. Into the third eye. Back up into the heavenlies. Go ahead and bring this light back up, up, Allow anything that needs to be restored to you from the foundations of the earth, what is rightfully yours. Allow this restoring to take place right now. Bring back down the light into the crown chakra, into the third eye. And allow right now this healing to come through into your mind and be completely healed down into the jaw, into the throat, down through the shoulders, down the arms, into the fingertips, and up into your heart center. Allow the warmth to just flow over and through and totally heal any of the story, allowing you to actually take root into your heart, the truth of who you are from the foundations of the earth. What was truly intended to you, for you, so that you could live your highest good. Into your solar plex, the sacral, and the root. Bring this back up through the spinal column and into the cerebrum of your mind. Allow this to flow through everything and rearrange the mind structure so that you can actually walk it out and be what is the best for you. And then allow it to go back up and into the third eye and out through the crown chakra, and be thankful. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
I needed that.
You needed that. There you go. It's all yours.
It's like a cool breeze out here with a lot of sunlight, right? And it physically felt like I was in a fountain. It's like so healing to my sickness and everything.
Awesome. So does anybody else want to share?
Nope, I enjoyed this. This is like going into the water. And I've been in the water many times over the last couple of days. But this will bring me the healing I need, hopefully.
Yes.
Have a great
Both
day.
of you are going through illness right now, and I'm lifting you both up. Healing has been sent.
Yes, me and all my kids have COVID right now.
Well, I definitely got COVID negative yesterday, so yay.
That's awesome.
I
This
know yours is
sickness
the
is not
GI. You
nice.
and I need to get together. I have something to share with you, Maud.
Okay.
That's going to help you.
Okay.
Maud, I'm here too if you ever want to talk to somebody and Darla's busy. I'm just saying. You seem like a good soul.
Yeah. You can reach out to me. I try my best to reply to people. But
So
I've been in the hospital now, so.
I actually have just a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to be running off to do an interview with Lisa Hart.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole thing,
You're
I
doing it
went to
now?
do it. I'm going to be doing that in a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, did you want to say anything more into this before? Nope. I'm going to say nope.
I'm going to attempt to go get some food in my stomach and see if it stays.
Sorry, I had stepped away. What happened?
I was asking whether or not you wanted to speak into this space before I get off of here and go to the interview.
You got an interview.
He's supposed to
So,
remind me.
I will let you prep and prepare for your interview so you can make it the most amazing interview that was supposed to happen the other day.
Thank you. I will see you all later. Bye for
Okay, good
now.
luck. Bye.